welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well out there. And today we're going back to Children of the Corn territory. But before we do that, do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe. Join me here. I greatly would appreciate that. Also, a shameless plug for my TeePublic page. We have over 100 designs over there. We got Christmas shirts up, some Christmas horror shirts up, like my Krampus shirt right here. Got some Thanksgiving stuff up, and of course, horror and Halloween shirts as well. So check that out if you're interested. If not, that's cool too. And today we're going to talk about Children of the Corn 3 Urban Harvest. Now, I had no intentions of rewatching this film. I haven't thought about this film in forever. Haven't even seen it since the late 90s on VHS. But I had reviewed Children of the Corn 2, The Final Sacrifice. Dale_A and myself went out to some of the locations of that movie, and we had a blast doing that. But one day I was looking through HBO Max and it had a bunch of the Children of the Corn sequels. And I'm like, you know what? Let's rewatch part 3. So I did. So we're going to talk about it today. Children of the Corn 3 Urban Harvest came out September 12th of 1995. It's rated R. It's an hour and 32 minutes. This film was directed by James Hickox. And in this film, cast-wise, we have Daniel Kearney plays Eli. We have Ray Melendez plays Joshua, his not brother. They act like brothers, but they're not really related. And Nancy Lee Grant plays Alice. She is the wife. It's one part of this husband and wife duo that adopts Eli and Joshua. And Nancy Lee Grant is most famous for playing Alexis Davis on General Hospital. She still plays it to this day. Don't ask me how I know. I just know. And this film picks up on a farm outside of Gatland. And Eli and Joshua are living with this man who I think is Eli's father. And he who walks behind the rose ends up killing his father. So Eli and Joshua get put into the foster care system and they get adopted by Alice and William in Chicago. Although this was shot in LA, but it supposedly takes place in Chicago. And the way they dress and the way they act at school, Eli is ripe for getting picked on by the other kids. Joshua soon finds friends and starts fitting in. He finds a girl he likes. And Alice and William seem like nice fit folks, but Eli's definitely weird. And Eli brings some corn seeds with him to this urban center. And right next door is an abandoned building right behind their backyard. And Eli goes back there and plants these seeds. And pretty soon, a cornfield pops up in this abandoned building. And crazy shit starts happening. Eli starts preaching to the kids at school. And the kids start listening to him, much to the behest of the reverend who helps run this religious school, and people start dying. The corn starts coming alive, and it ends in this ceremony. And Eli is dispatched, so we think, but this creature erupts from the soil and wreaks havoc, killing the kids until it's finally dispatched. And that is the end of Children of the Corn 3 Urban Harvest. What to like about this film? Well, I guess after 2 films that take place in Gatland, I guess it was a next inevitable thing to take it to the city. I think the kid who plays Eli is okay. I think he gives a decent performance. I don't think he's as good as Micah from the second one. I think that actor did a better job with it, but he does a fine enough job being the creepy kid who ends up preaching to the other kids and getting them to come over on his side. The guy who plays Joshua was okay. He's likable. A little awkward in some scenes. You could tell he was a young actor at the time. I don't know if he's still acting. The other kids are hit or miss. Some of the acting is pretty good. I mean, so there's some recognizable faces. The guy who plays the father, I've seen him in other things. This was actually Charlize Theron's first film. She was an extra, but she was in this film. There's a few cool moments, but overall, this is definitely a step down in quality from part 2. From the directing, which I found pretty weak here, overall. I mean, there's a few nice shots, but once we get into, especially after the beginning of the film and the kids get to Chicago, the directing, especially during the action scenes, leave a lot to be desired, honestly. It's not that well handled. And honestly, James Hickox never saw the first 2 Children of Corn films before doing this film. So he was only 26 years old, so he was a young guy, but I don't know if he was a horror guy. And honestly, the horror sequences are not that great. It's okay at best. And it's really cheesy, and some of the effects are god-awful. There's a point where the monster at the end picks up the one girl And I get they had a good special effects guy. Screaming Mad George did the effects on this. And some of the makeup effects is pretty good. But there's a shot where the monster picks up this girl, and it's a quick cutaway shot, but you can clearly see it's a plastic doll getting yanked up. I mean, it's that obvious when you watch the film. So, I mean, some of the stuff does not come off well at all. And I'm sure they didn't have a ton of money. This movie was shot in 1993, about a year after when the second one came out theatrically. And it didn't get released till 95. It sat in the shelf for 2 years until Dimensions released it. And Dimensions, honestly, made a ton of these sequels. They all went direct to video. And the only reason they made them was so they could keep the rights, which I never understood that. Why keep the rights to it if you're not planning on releasing it theatrically and making some real money off of it, or trying to make a really good movie? They made a ton of shitty sequels. Now, I've seen this one. I started watching part 4, but I didn't finish it, only because I was busy doing something else. I might go back and watch part 4 and review it. We'll see. But Dimensions kept making these films because they wanted to keep the rights. That's the only reason they made them. And I bet you, like a lot of the other film series, the scripts had nothing to do with Children of Corn. They just wrote it in and said, okay, go ahead and make a Children of Corn movie for a couple $1 million. You can tell this didn't have a big budget. I mean, they did the best with what they can, but this is definitely a step down from part 2, which I did enjoy, even though I gave it a 6 out of 10. Eli walks around with a corn Bible. It was actually a modified hardcover of Stephen King's Night Shift. I thought that was pretty cool. They did that. Other than that, I have really nothing else here. They shot this in LA, not in Chicago. At the end of the day, this is definitely a direct-to-video sequel. It's not very good. It's okay. There's a few fun things in there, but overall, this is a big step down from the second film. And at the end of the day, I would give Children of Corn 3 Urban Harvest a 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10 for Children of Corn 3. Have you ever seen this one? Leave a comment down below. Let me know. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Share this video. I greatly would appreciate that. I'll be back soon with some more reviews, but until next time, bye.